Right. Karakia. Yeah.
Taka te hau ki te uru, taka te hau ki te tonga, kia mākina kina ki uta, kia mātaratara ki tai, e hiahi ana te atakura, e tio, e huka, e haupu, te rei moriora.
Right. Welcome everybody to our extraordinary meeting. Apologies, we have Helen for lateness, and we have Sarah Brunton on Zoom, and I guess that's what we've got. Do we need to move by Mark, seconded by Hank? Yeah. Do I need to all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Great, thank you. Now I would like to call on declarations first. For the items that we have, I would like to put in first my one for the Hornby Community Patrol. I think it's item number 34 in the spreadsheet in the matrix. Is the number correct? Or has it changed?
It is 34.
What
34?
34. 34 is Church Corner Toy Library.
No, Hornby Community Patrol.
Hornby Community Patrol.
Oh, in the agenda.
Oh, I thought we were looking at that.
Agenda page number.
Agenda page number.
Oh.
And so who else? Debbie for
Same.
Hornby Community Patrol.
Thank you.
And who else? Hank.
For High Broomfield Community Development Trust.
That's number one. Hi. And who else? Mark.
Hornby Presbyterian Community Church.
Number
33.
33. And then we've got Sarah. What number?
3.2, Hornby Community Centre.
Hornby Community Centre.
Sorry, Hornby Community Care Trust, operating as Hornby Community Care Centre.
We've got that. Anybody else has any declarations? All good? Do we need to repeat that? No. No. Okay.
It doesn't need to be the same every year.
Okay, cool. All right, so thank you for that. Now we will go to the staff report. Do you want to explain how we're going to do this, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so I'll get Bailey to.
And the team can come to the table as well. Executive staff is
Spreadsheet, yes. The table, yeah.
yes, right. So we'll have the spreadsheet up here while we're going through this. I gave you all a printout if that's helpful for you with the agenda page numbers so that we know what we're talking about. Before we get into any questions or changes, what I would like to quickly do is just go through everyone and for you guys to just indicate that you've either got a question or you are flagging that there might be an adjustment to this recommendation. So we'll go through all of them first so we know how many we might be looking at. If it's 5, that's fine. If it's 20, then we know we need to kind of get through them quickly. We have our 4:30 meeting, 4 p.m. at the latest. For this meeting would be ideal. So we'll go through everyone first, just flag across the table if anyone has anything to raise, and then we'll go back to the top, and then we'll go through the ones that have been highlighted. Yeah, cool. So we've got Hey Broomfield Community Development Trust,
Right.
Hornby Community Care Trust, Hornby Presbyterian Community Trust, Te Whare Āwhiro.
Oh, you're going one by one like that?
So
Yeah.
just tell me if you have a question, like
Yes.
just flag it and then we'll come back.
Just raise your hand if you have a question.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll flag that one.
Which one?
Te Whare Āwhiro. So page 23. Levita.
Yeah.
Wharenui Swimming Club. Avon Sequence Dancers. Watia Athletics. Peter Mann Charitable Trust, Canterbury Fiji Social Services, Canterbury Tamil, Chinese Football, Chinese Joyful Club, BMX Club, Church Corner Toy Library, Community Patrol Riccarton, Queens Air Precinct, Epic Sports, Graham Dingle, GHRA, Greater Hornby Residents Association, Community Church, also Community Patrol, also Hall, also Residents Association, also Rugby League Football Club, also Scout, also Small Dogs,
Yay.
also Tennis Club, also Toy Library, also United Football Club, Handmade Studio Charitable Trust, yes, Heart St. Peter's Netball Club, Presbyterian Community Church, Hornby Community Patrols, Hornby Good Companions Group, Hornby Netball, Hornby Rugby, Hornby Toy Library, Kids First Mackenzie Kindergarten, Korean Painting Group. We're just flagging if you have any questions about any of these groups or any changes.
I have a change, but
Yeah, so just tell me for what group and then we'll go back and go through all of them.
okay, it hasn't
Hasn't come up, it's the last one. St.
Probably.
Peter's, yeah. Who had their hand up over there?
It was for the Korean painting group.
Lions Club of Halswell, Manaya Volleyball Club, Mirage Trust Board, OLB Leisure Group, Hakuni Boxing or Totahi, Riccarton Baptist Church, the Community Church, Riccarton Community Garden and Pakaka Trust, Riccarton Leagues.
Yeah. I was waiting for that.
Is that a serious hand up?
No.
Riccarton Rugby Football League Club, Riccarton Softball Club, Scouts NZ, Female Scout Group, Southwest Sports and Recreation Hub, Swish, Springs Community Early Learning Centre, Te Kura Ora Koha or Sport Aotearoa, Te Kura Wai or Waipapa, Hagley College, Templeton,
Last question of it.
Templeton Residents Association,
Hagley College, is that us? Is that our ward?
Wait for
Okay.
questions.
Templeton, oh, sorry, did that one. Salvation Army New Zealand, Tupu Tonga Trust, Yaldhurst Tennis Club, and I know this questions for St. Peter's.
I've got an amendment. for
Yeah,
that.
yeah, awesome, thank you. We'll go back to the top and then we'll hand over to the team.
Can I make a suggestion with the approval of the board that we do St. Peter's first, only because we've got a member of the staff here. If we've got any questions, and then should be free to go. We want to deal with that first, if that's with the approval of the board.
Yeah, questions of the staff.
Sorry.
So we can't ask questions of the public gallery.
Oh, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
You
we
just want to
can't.
have, no, we can't have public gallery speaking.
Oh, okay.
Questions, but.
Oh, I suppose if we could have it, so then she can go. If- Yeah.
Yeah.
If that's
She's happy with that?
Yeah.
Start from the bottom. Just for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
St. Peter's.
If we, yes, so we are going to start with St. Peter's and then we'll go back to the top. So, yes, questions on St. Peter's. Do I have anybody else other than Helen has questions?
We saw the email thread, so that's pretty much all the details we need to know. All the
Questions, okay, Helen and then Tyler.
I've got an amendment, but I've got a
Hang
question
on.
too.
Questions first,
Okay.
questions first. And then I have a question as well.
Right, yes, I've just looked up the criteria for strengthening communities, and I think I've got the right one. And what can't be approved is activity or initiatives where the primary purpose is to promote religious ministry, political objectives, and commercial or profit-oriented interests. Is that the clause that you're
There's also
working from?
capital items.
There's also capital items.
We can't fund
And
capital items.
Okay, but you could fund
So
something else.
So capital items, as you will know, they usually, for example, a tennis court, they always come to the discretionary response
Yes.
because they can't come to SEF.
Okay. So I've got an amendment. That's fine if you
No,
put it.
questions
I'm
first.
fine. Thank you.
Could I ask a follow-on question from staff on that? That's fine.
Probably the same argument.
Are you happy for a follow-up question? Okay.
So are you saying that strengthening community is not the right fund for them to be applying to for that? It should be from the discretionary fund if they were to apply for it.
If a group applies for a capital
Mhm.
item, they should be applying to the discretionary response fund. The discretionary response fund has not so much of a criteria round it, whereas the strength,
Okay.
yes, yeah.
The criteria around the things that help that Helen mentioned still stand.
Mark, you had a question?
And enhancing that existing play space is a capital expenditure, is that right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Back to Carla. Thanks, bro.
Right, my bad. Before the questions, I was supposed to ask the staff first to speak and explain your rationale for the St. Peter's, right?
So as it's been put in the matrix and in the email, it's not recommended for funding as the organisation's primary kaupapa is the provision of Christian-based early learning, early childhood education. This is openly stated in their website, in their social media, within their centre, with the whiteboard which states the Bible quote of the week, which they base their learning on. That's all there. It's so it operates as with a Christian-based early learning philosophy. It's operated by the Manukau Christian Trust, which operates out of South Auckland, who has started up a number of Christian-based early learning centres throughout New Zealand, and they stress on it, Christian-based learning. So this is one of the clearest that I've been assessing funding applications for over 20 years. This is one of the clearest applications that I have ever seen that is, without any doubt, there is Christian ministry and the kaupapa of the organisation and what they are doing with it, so that it clearly does not meet that criteria. I did a sense check with other community development advisors as well as advisors for funding at other funding agencies, and they all agreed with my assessment on this. Secondly, as has already been mentioned, it doesn't meet the criteria as far as capital items. They're wanting to enhance their play area. The play area, so it's a play area that already exists. They want to add other things to it. So that, as I said, that is capital. It's, for example, extending their bike track that they have for the young kids. It's with fruit, enhancing the area where they were wanting to do fruit trees, and the planting area, and install a shade sail posts and in the playground. The organisation appears to be Manukau Christian Trust appears to be extremely well resourced. They are a multi-million-dollar, they have a multi-million-dollar turnover and made a profit last year, operating profit last year of $500,000. So I think the staff assessment is that with that background, there is less resourcing required for an organisation such as that, as opposed to an organisation of another early learning centre where the parents have to go out and physically fundraise themselves to get things. So they have more funding resources available and avenues available to them than other organisations. It's not saying that this organisation is not doing great things. They are meeting a need in the local community. There's no doubt about that. They, along with other early learning centres and education providers in the area, they have a strong multicultural, diverse base there. But what we are saying here is they do not meet the criteria, and to a lesser extent than other organisations that have less ability to access funds.
Thank you, Marie. I've got Tyler, myself, Mark, Debbie, Andre, and then Helen. Tyler, go ahead, please.
Thank you. First of all, just for public knowledge, to protect staff, you're bound by policy, correct?
Absolutely.
Defined in the criteria, which is then decided by council itself.
Absolutely.
Cool. First of all, I just wanted to reiterate that for public knowledge.
Yes.
And second of all, we do know that it doesn't meet the criteria based on the religious aspects of it.
Mm-hmm.
We can also take into account the multicultural aspects and also the deprivation stats, which obviously override that area. If we're comparing this organisation with, say, for example, another Christian-based organisation, say, for example, Hornby Presbyterian or Levita Youth Trust. I don't want to go saying organisations, but I'm talking about those kinds of organisations. What are the key differences between those organisations, of which many have applied today, and this one?
That is the level of religious ministry that exists in the programs that they are running. So if we take and a really good example is that we can see is on the CDN website. You might see that they have what's called a spiritual advisory, where they have a scale there for each of their programs, with the scale to say from none to a lot of the type of religious ministry. We have a look at every single organisation from a faith base to have a look at their program to see how much religious ministry, and if there's any, so a lot of those providers now are very aware of how much they can do with what they apply for funding for. Some of them do other things with religious ministry but don't apply for funding for it because they know that they cannot get funding for it. So, for example, you used La Vida as an example. There is no religious ministry with the provision of the 24/7 workers or their after-school program. A couple of years ago, they did seek to employ a community worker at the university as part of their funding application, which we did not recommend because that worker, what they were doing was they were talking to university students to bring them back into the church. So for that aspect, we did not recommend funding for that aspect of their application. However, the parts that they are doing, there is no religious ministry in that. So they are not speaking about God. They are not speaking about any Christian basis as part of that program.
Okay, so now I'm just going to split the operations and capital injection apart now too. Because what we're seeing with these organisations, you're seeing a lot of operational differences, right, in terms of the delivery and what we fund through the SCF. However, in this one, it lies outside of that being of capital, which then physically can't be religious ministry unless they explicitly put something religious on the sandpit or the playground, etc., etc. So what I'm trying to say here is, if we were of the right, of the sway to decide to put this into the DRF, there's nothing stopping us.
Correct.
There's nothing stopping
Great.
it.
So to make it easy for the board, it gets declined here in the ECF, or does it get moved to the DRF?
In that situation, it would be moved to the DRF.
Yep, cool. Great. That makes it really clear. The board's pretty comfortable with those analyses.
If I may just follow on from you with permission, Chair, would that mean, and that's great suggestion, because my question was going to be, would under the discretionary response, would they be refused on the same basis, on the same policy?
The staff
The staff recommendation would still stand,
and the board can make a decision.
and the board would have to make a decision. So the staff recommendation would still stand. And the other reason why is because it's also, while it's capital items could be funded, it is more of a, rather than the likes of the kindergarten, which is replacing a slide, which is, doesn't meet health and safety standards anymore, so it's a must-have. This is a adding to their existing stuff, so it's a nice-to-have stuff. As the ERA report has stated, that they already have, their ERA report has said that they've got a sufficient outdoor area, so it's a nice-to-add into it. So it's up to the board members to decide if they wanted to fund a nice-to-have as opposed to a necessary addition.
But you're saying, so
Right,
just,
Can we move on to the?
yeah, cool.
Okay.
I think just to clarify for Deb,
Yeah.
if the board decides, so the staff advice would be to not fund, so the staff recommendation is
Yeah,
not to fund. Getting a feel that the board may, so we would suggest that you move it out of the SCF to the DRF, and then our DRF. That can all happen at this meeting, because we do have a second report. So
Okay.
after the ECF, you establish the DRF, we have our board projects, so that resolution could be added in there, and we won't have to go back. You have enough information to make
Okay.
that decision. So it doesn't need to come back to another meeting. You can make that
Oh,
in the next.
today.
Yeah.
So does it need to be moved?
I bet you've got a resolution.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that, Bailey.
Right. So, just to go back, questions, I'm next, and then Mark. Debbie, are you still?
No, that was my
No,
question.
you're
Thank you
done.
for allowing that.
I've got Andre, Helen, and then Luke.
Other been answered, thank you.
Yours have been answered.
I'd like to add a
Luke,
question to that at some stage.
You've got,
Yeah,
you've got a
Yeah.
question, so Helen and then Hank. Luke, are you still asking? Helen, Luke, and then Hank.
Yes,
Hang on,
sorry.
right.
It's Marie next.
I'll ask my question first. In the criteria, there was some mention about profit-oriented organizations not fitting the criteria, or something.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So if an organisation is a commercial organisation, Marie can speak more clearly about the trust. I think it's a trust.
It's a charitable trust.
So it would qualify, so that
It is
would,
eligible.
that
It's a
would
charitable trust. It's
So-
exclude it.
What was that Manukau Christian Trust?
Yes.
Which
Charitable
is
trust.
It's a charitable
considered,
trust, and it's eligible to apply for funding.
They just fundraise more than they spend, right?
Yeah, so,
say again,
They fundraise more than they spend.
well, they're able to get more income than they actually, their outgoings, but they're still a charitable trust, so
so
supposedly,
they're not a commercial.
no,
No,
there's no.
no,
So
right.
in their trust,
No.
I would say that
No.
all the profits need to go
Go
in
back into the
back to
trust, the trust,
charitable
into the
purposes.
trust.
And they run this preschool.
Correct.
So
The
can you just,
the governance of the preschool is with the America.
Manica, yeah. So can you just clarify what is the role of St. Peter's here? Are they the owner, the landowner, or
They
the?
are the landowner and a part, from what I understand, a partner organisation. So rent is paid to St. Peter's Church by the
Manica?
by the school, by the by the preschool, pay rent to St. Peter's.
So St. Peter's is landowner and the name is St. Peter's.
Yes.
Preschool.
Yes.
Right, okay. Thank you. That's all my question. Mark?
thank you. So obviously you've picked up on the fact that they don't hide their Christian faith. Do we do a similar lens on all other Christian organisations that are on our
Yes.
funding?
Yes.
Because there's a lot of them.
Yes, we know, and yes, we do.
Okay, and you've not come across any other reasons to exclude any of the others?
There was one that I came across a couple of years ago at council. That again was recommended as a decline, but otherwise, no, there hasn't been. Often we can have a organisation that will come to us and say we're thinking of applying for this for X, Y, Z, and we will say, well, actually, it doesn't meet the criteria. How much, so we have had that with some of the faith-based organisations who have come to us and said, this is what we're looking at doing. Is it eligible or is it able to be funded through that? And we've said, look, you could apply, but really we would have to recommend it as a decline because on that basis. So we sort of they come to us beforehand to ask advice to say, does it meet? How does it go within that? So yes, we do it for every single organisation. And there are some boards that won't even, as soon as an application has got the name of any faith-based organisation, just won't even consider the application.
Okay, so I guess as a council, we would far sooner have any faith-based organisation. It's not just Christian. I mean, there's Muslim organisations, there's all sorts of faith organisations that come to us. We'd far sooner have them subvert their beliefs and hide the fact that they have any religious involvement, and then we'd fund them.
No, we're not saying that. What we're saying, and I think Marie quite clearly said before, we value all of our faith organisations and what they do, but the programs that we fund have to be non-religious.
And that is the criteria that has been set by council.
And the fact that they might hold it in a church building with a cross quite clearly on that building, does it alarm bells every time?
If the program does not involve any religious ministry, so for example, Oak Development ran the shared kai in the Riccarton Baptist Church. It had the thing, but there was no religious ministry as part of that initiative.
Okay.
Done, Mark?
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark. I've got Helen, Luke, and then Hank.
Yes, you talk about the ERO report. It got circulated. It was 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the actual latest report.
It's the latest,
and it would have just been starting then, I presume. That seems to me when it started.
I would say it wouldn't be long after it started.
Okay.
Yeah, but yes, that is.
Now there wasn't. I've been down there about 4 times. Largely immigrant families, and I'd have a sense they haven't got lots of money. The families. Can you tell me? My children went to Rattray Street, so I know that one well. That's an old-fashioned kindergarten. So, I've lost track of preschool centres and kindergartens. Does Rattray get a reasonable amount of funding from government?
No, they struggle for funding. They get the base. They get the same. They get a base allowance from them as part of their ministry for wages. Anything else has to come out of the fee, the money they get, the other money they get.
Okay.
A lot of the time they have to do fundraising. They don't have the parents there. They also charge considerably less fees as well.
I noticed that. Yes.
So to do a comparison, there's the early childhood free education for the 3-year-olds up to the 3+, yes. the 20 hours early learning education. So over and above that, the Rattray Street will charge $12 a week if they're there for 4 days, or $20 a week if they're there for 5 days.
Okay. And does this centre get the same level of funding then as Rattray?
They will get this. They will get the same ELC funding.
Yes.
The same up to 20 hours free education, but they're not a Ministry of Education.
That's right.
Provider. So all of their they won't get that Ministry of Education contribution towards wages.
So they're at a disadvantage then.
Well, it's yes, absolutely comparatively. Yes, Springs
okay.
Early Learning Centre, which is another one that the board has their funding for, they're in the same position as the St Peters.
I thought that was sort of likely. Yes, look, I think I can. I've got a resolution, so
Any other
I'll
questions?
speak to that. I think.
Luke, please.
I guess the concern that I have is if we did approve this through this, are we setting a dangerous precedent in terms of capital expenditure in SCF, which is against council policy? Okay, that's cool. That's all my questions. Thank you.
Hank, and then last Tyler.
For the clarification, I'm not disagreeing with anything you said at all, but we've got 2 reasons to refuse them out of this fund. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And yet the only reason that came up on the screen that I know is the Christian faith one. There was nothing there about the funding come out of the wrong funding. In fact, the Christian faith one becomes an irrelevant discussion when they've applied to the wrong fund in the first place. Am I right?
The staff comment on also does allude to the fact of the capital items in that rationale.
But
Just mention it as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mentioned both of them.
In the rationale for staff recommendation, it mentions the capital.
It is mentioned.
Okay. I didn't realise that we could, however, apply even now and get them funded through the DRF.
Capital items, yeah. I mean, the DRF fund criteria is, there are far fewer restrictions on the criteria. I think there's only about 3 restrictions for the board to consider.
So why couldn't we just swap that over? I mean,
it's easy enough just moving over.
Next time.
So that's what we need to process it up, right?
Yes.
Okay, if we'll just move on.
Yeah.
Okay, Tyler, and then I'll just have Sarah afterwards, and then that's it for St. Peter's.
That's fine. Maybe a tougher question. We have Kids First at Kinsey Kindergarten. Excuse me if I'm wrong, but applying for capital works.
That applies to a slide, which is not a capital item, because it's not a fixed.
I see. So it's
not fixed.
It's under maintenance essentially, right? Okay. I see now. No, that's great. Cool. I just wanted to add them as an item to just for discussion, or I'm going to look at an amendment. I'm going to give them an extra 144.
Which Tyler, have you seen our resolution? If you're happy with it,
hang on.
Yeah.
We've got a last question.
I didn't note it before. I just need it highlighted. Thanks.
Okay, last question from Sarah.
Thanks, staff. I just wanted to understand what's the justification for not funding explicitly Christian or or any religious kind of ministries at a council level?
That's criteria that the council has come up with. And so it's the criteria we're given as staff to assess it. I can't comment on the councillors' rationale.
How often do they make that decision? Is it an annual thing or?
No, it's last time there was a review around the funding. Yes.
I just noticed there's a number of really large Christian organisations that do amazing work, and obviously this is the first time I've come across in my term that we've declined it due to the religious side. So I guess we don't see this often. Is that correct?
No, because usually groups have a discussion with us and we'll direct them in the right direction.
So how did it get to this? How come we didn't advise the staff at the time of application that this wasn't a suitable,
so
the DRF was better?
I think just to be clear, when this application moves to the DRF, the staff recommendation wouldn't change. It would still be a decline based off the religious ministry. What we're saying is that we're getting the feel that the board may look to fund this. We're saying you can fund it out of SCF. That's ultimately it's the board's decision. You can go against the staff recommendation. what we're saying is it would be better if you moved it to the DRF.
I agree.
And then funded
I
it.
Can I
agree.
just,
So
So I say
moving it to
the-
the DRF wouldn't change the staff recommendation because they still have that religious ministry component.
can I just,
Okay, but hang on, I haven't finished. So does that mean that, Judith, that the capital works is the only issue with applying for the SCF, but we could get away with it doing the DRF, but the religious component still applies?
Yes.
Okay.
does that answer your question, Sarah, about why were St. Peter's not advised to apply through the
The area.
DRF?
Well, I don't understand how it works. Is there a bit of advice given at the time of application to these organisations around how best to apply?
Where if a group puts in an application, so we advertise quite widely the fact that we have workshops, we had a online seminar, so and we advertise that staff are available to assist groups and to work through with groups. However, if groups don't come to us and just put the application in without coming to us, we can't provide any advice like that. This was one of them that it came in and we had no idea what was going to be in it until it was submitted. And once it was submitted, it was submitted.
Fair enough. Yep, understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
We have spent 30 minutes just on one organization. I would,
advice is clear.
could I just ask one very simple
we
question?
will move on.
To where?
We will move on.
Luke's got a question.
We have already spent half an hour just on one
It's
item.
probably a yes
So
or no
please,
answer.
we are moving on to the next one, Hornby Presbyterian Community Trust, Tefare Apero.
Oh, do we not do the referral
Not,
to the
no,
DRF?
questions first. Are we?
We're doing amendments after.
We will
everything.
do them in a block later.
So we're doing
finished.
passing in a block? Or are
We're
we
gonna
able
finish
to?
the
We're gonna finish the questions
Oh,
first.
okay.
At this rate, you won't get through.
At this stage, we're
Or
doing just
tonight,
the
or tomorrow
questions
morning.
right now.
Not this
All
one.
right, Hornby Presbyterian Community Trust, who has a question on this?
Nope. Be me.
Mark.
This is probably going back to the last 12 months ago. I noticed we're recommending 30,000 here for this one. Last year, we got 45,000 approved for them
From your amendment.
from my amendment.
Yep.
So I gather we're just going straight back to Groundhog Day, where I'm happy to come up with an amendment to take them back to the level of last year. In fact, that the work is not diminished, it has grown in the last 12 months. Is there a reason why we've gone back to 30,000 instead of looking at where the board was willing to be last year?
Yep, so there's a couple of things that we took into consideration when making this recommendation. The first one is they've got quite a significant amount of the funding.
Sorry, can hardly hear you.
I'm sorry. So we took a couple of things into consideration in making this recommendation. The first is they have a significant amount of other funding and resources. So you'll see in the matrix, there's a list of those there. The second thing is they actually employ a funding manager, so they have lots of resources available to them that other organisations don't have, and this also allows them, gives them an alternative funding avenues as well. They, for example, this group is able to apply for fundraising campaigns and things like that. Some other groups and organisations do not have that resource.
Okay. So will I take it from the fact that they are prepared to be proactive and have someone doing the fundraising for them, that they're then penalised for that being proactive?
They're not penalised, but we have a certain budget. We have a collaboration meeting.
Yeah.
And part of that collaboration meeting, we come up with recommendations which we feel that because all the organisations do fantastic work. We would like to give all the organisations exactly what they ask for. Unfortunately, we have to come up with recommendations that one criteria and put within the budget and leave discretion. If the board want to change those recommendations, definitely that's the board's role here today.
We are also working on a separate avenue of funding for this organisation in a separate way, which is which is possibly in excess of that, that difference.
That's cool.
All good, Mark?
Yeah.
Anybody else has any other questions?
No.
None. We move on to the next one, the Vida Youth Trust.
Yeah, hey guys, mine's really quick. I know that they do quite a lot of awesome youth work. They pretty much are the only operators for youth in the Upper Riccarton Church Corner area. Are they still doing what they have done last year too, in terms of the walking buses, the after-school programs, the breakfasts, all of those things?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So then I'll potentially have an amendment. There was a reduction in the last one, so just noting that.
Sorry,
Easy.
all done?
I've told Bailey. Yeah.
All good?
Yeah.
Right, we're moving on to Handmade Studio Charitable Trust. Who had the question?
Me.
You. Okay,
What number is that?
How do we,
number 50. Or agenda page number 50. It's it.
Looks like Sarah had a question to you too.
Sorry,
Sarah's got a hand up.
is that for Handmade Studio Trust?
Brave man.
yeah. So my question is, how do we come up with the rationale around $8,000? Like how do we quantify that? I do notice they've got a huge amount of funding elsewhere. And there are other organisations, especially across the city, that reach a wider range, and I suppose per participant may get less. How do we quantify the 8,000?
Okay, so this is a high priority community as far as disabilities, people with disabilities. It's having a look at, as you said, at other funding that they have, and having a look at the need, and also the social impact that the funding would have this community.
And the things that the people make there, do they receive any funds from the people that make it?
No, I don't believe so, no. So it's basically a social enterprise. So there's a number of social enterprises that operate. For example, CDN can operate as a social enterprise. Kilmarnock, a lot of them about, and it helps defray some of those funding, so it makes them less reliant on but the phrase is less reliant. There is still some, because there's no way that they can, with the sale of their goods, they can meet the overheads of what they need to continue operation.
And have they identified a location to move to? Do you know yet?
No, we've been working with them on some options, and so that's a work in progress. But yeah, they have been through the process of requiring other accommodation before and having to shift, and they're pretty robust as far as the ability to. Yeah.
And as an organisation, do they do other stuff other than this program they're requesting funds for?
No, this is the main thing that they do. So it's really it's empowering people with disabilities to basically make a difference.
Okay.
To network, to join in with others. If you go down there, and they're happy for people to go down there and have a look at it, the connections that they make with each other are invaluable, and the people who are attending, the value they place on it, is they see it as a place of work for them.
And finally, I guess my last question is, do you know how many participants they help per year? I guess it's actually two questions. That's the second to
I
last.
think it was in the
Because I'm saying up to 15 participants a day, drawn from a regular base of 40.
yeah.
So 40 people a year they help.
No, it's probably up to about 60 people a year, but they have at anyone's time about 40 on their books and 15 a year.
And they pay money to go there. The adults that go there to participate, they pay.
No.
What are the client fees?
The client fees is some money that they money that they get from MSD to allow them to be there.
on top of the MSD funding they already get. You get 68,000 from MSD and 17,000 in client fees.
Oh, sorry, no, sorry. The client fees are for the ones who don't meet the MSC criteria. So there is a handful that don't, there are some that don't.
Okay, so some of those 40 or the 60 rather are subsidised by MSD to attend. Okay. Cool, that's all my questions, thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Sarah, I may have missed you. Is your question about Handmade Studio, or did we skip you somewhere?
No, that's okay. Actually, there's something wrong with the sound. I can't hear people talking, but I can hear lots of paper shuffling and clicking. Is the microphone maybe needs to be turned down or something?
That happened to me actually on another occasion.
No, we do
Can you hear me,
have
Sarah?
the technical capability here.
Okay, could I just request that when you're shuffling, like going through the paperwork, just try and do it as quietly as possible, if that's okay, please. Thank you.
Noted.
Sorry, Sarah.
That's okay, thank you.
Okay,
Is it,
right. We move on to the next. No more questions for Handmade Studio. Kids first. Tyler.
$144 seems pretty minor.
But you can
144?
raise it anyway.
Yeah, so
144.
I'm wondering why we didn't meet them the whole way.
Probably because there is can't fund every organisation 100% of what they want. There was applications, the applications were for 1.5 million for this fund. You don't have that much money, so you know, there had to be.
Nice.
Okay, cool. Just legging it. Thanks. we did 100% for some organisations this morning at our SCF meeting.
Anybody else have any questions for kids first? No? Next is Korean Painting Group.
That was me. My question is, this is to help fund for council resources, right? They came before the board before, did they? I think it might have been one of my first meetings. But yeah, so that's for resource hiring. Sorry, venue hiring.
Yeah, so because that they came for was to take them to the start of this year.
And we have a policy of not giving free space, so all organisations are equitable. Okay, that's cool. That was one of my questions.
Right, thank you, Luke.
Thank you.
Move on to the next, which is Springs Community Early Learning Center.
Maybe and Tyler. I don't remember the question. Do you have a question?
Yeah, just for board knowledge. Can you talk to us about the maintenance costs that the Springs seem to have to look at?
So it's maintenance of the, building with it is a council building. However, with the council building, with the council maintenance, only essential items. So items that fall out of the essential category can't be attended to. So they are applying funding to be able to get that done. And also for their grounds maintenance, they have had an issue with the person who they did have doing the grounds maintenance, who was doing it at a very reasonable rate, was abused by tenants from the neighbouring, a particular tenant from the neighbouring housing complex, and decided that they would not, they didn't want the job anymore, so that they're having to go out again and pay a bit more.
Okay. Yeah, I don't want to be conflicted, but I'll give them a hand. Okay, so just to be clear, and you may not be able to answer this, by the way, because you are part of the council, but what I'm reading from this is that as a council-owned facility, the assets are essentially being sweated from the properties unit. Therefore, the Early Learning Centre have come to us to ask for maintenance to maintain the building, not necessarily upgrade it.
It's to do with the amount of budget that the facilities team have.
Yeah. Thanks, Marie. So just for board knowledge, thanks.
You'd be a good diplomat, really.
I guess one question that I have for you is, how often are they reporting break-ins and burglaries and vandalism?
Whenever they can.
And do we have a report of how many times that's occurred over the last couple of years?
No, it's not something that they're required to supply. We could go back and ask them that.
Okay.
It's not something I've asked.
Just that in the past, they had told me that they get broken into a lot. They had things go missing, things get stolen. I don't know if it's from people just opportunist because it's in a, would you say, isolated area?
Yeah.
Somewhat.
Yeah. In Tyler's backyard.
Mine too. Not as close. Someone stole a motor getting parked in their car park at one point. Yeah, I guess I'm a little bit concerned around if things are getting vandalized and then they're having to pay to fix it themselves when they already forego a number of fees from parents that can't afford. They obviously do great mahi there. Yeah, I guess it just comes back to us again, right? Effectively, they might ask for more money and we'll give them slightly less. So it's
question, please.
No, that's it. Just make it a decision.
Right. We move. Any other questions, Mark?
Yeah, can I just quickly question on this one? Is this not something that we as a council through facilities should be paying for rather than the Early Learning Centre?
As I said, but the amount of budget that the facilities team has to maintain buildings can only go a certain distance, and so when things are unable to meet the urgency criteria, and a group like the Early Learning Centre wishes to have that maintenance, have it looking a bit better for their kids and their whānau, then they choose to do it.
That may be a great politician.
Tyler, is this something that we as council need to go and talk about and see if we can get?
We've tried to, yeah, I've tried my darndest. Apparently there's a contractual arrangement which actually somewhat, yeah, anyway, we can't get into the commercial stuff.
Yeah. You go to PX, we can talk about
Okay. So, anything else about the Springs Community Early Learning Center? No. Going, gone.
Gone.
Right, next is Te Punawai o Waipapa Hagley College.
Here we go.
What percentage of their services do they deliver to the ward area for us?
This is for a program that is totally delivered within the ward area.
Okay, great. That was my only question. Thank you.
And there's some in Wigram. They do some programs in Wigram at Harvard and some programs at Upper Riccarton in the Methodist Church.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. That was my only question.
Right.
Great.
Thank you. Now we move on to our next phase. We finished the questions. And
I can do it.
So of the ones that there were questions on, some people have
amendments.
Well, just like, it doesn't need to be an amendment, nothing's been moved, so they can just. Yeah, and we have a resolution for the St. Peter's one to know.
So if you could pull that page. Yeah, thank you.
Question from Tyler?
So have we pulled away from standing orders?
No.
Okay, so can we still provide a consensus movement?
We can change it if you want.
Before amendments are created. I feel like it's easier
to pass everything we agree with.
If I put it up, if anyone's got amendments.
No. What I'm saying is what happened in the last board meeting and the board meeting before that is we put things up and then we put up alternatives or foreshadowed. It's probably easier just now to get negotiating around the table and forfeiting standing orders.
Well, I think it's better to put it up and then perhaps move. Yeah, because I'm happy to
hold on a second. We are seeking advice.
Put it up formally and then move to informal.
We're really going to need to see all at once because it sounds like there's tens of thousands of dollars coming.
It's just a short amendment.
Is
I had 5,000.
Because you got the DRF, right?
Yeah, so it'd be good to get them all on
all in front of us.
So can we just do strengthening communities first and
Who
then go
put
to
up
DRE?
5,000?
Yeah, that was it.
But that's just a draft.
Oh, I think it was 5,000.
Yeah, so you vote on this, and then the DRE.
I have. Oh, sent it through.
Yep, cool. But they'll give us a heads up before.
No, I sent it through earlier.
I'm
Did you press send, Hitler?
Money's always.
I'll have a look, see if it's done. I may not have actually.
That is.
I'll send it through now.
Okay,
It is.
just a second.
It's full.
We are putting up the suggested resolution for St. Peter's, and then we will discuss it. Once, as
I'm
soon
sorry, I
as-
thought I'd sent it through to Faye during the meeting.
soon as we get it up on the screen.
Is that for DRE, Helen?
Yes. I've moved 5,000 to come from the DRF fund. And I took the 5,000. Tyler at one stage thought of 6, and I just thought, perhaps
Not anymore.
if we go with, if we go with 5.
No, not after all this.
Mm.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got about 3 in here.
So looking at the DRF, I'm a little bit worried about eating into it too much.
Yep. Especially.
I'll send it through, Faye.
It's
Just a minute.
5,000.
This is a different.
Because essentially it's nice to have, then you've got spring to actually need stuff, right?
So it kind of said
I
sweet.
agree.
You know?
Yeah.
You could probably just write it, Faye.
Was the election season, not trying to.
I'm just
Oh,
coming
mate, I
out.
was brave this morning. I recommended cuts. Only one.
Oh,
My poor neighbourhood.
Yeah.
Went down like a cold
I've seen it
cup of
through.
cold sick. Because I thought that if we wanted to up one, then we had to take the
Yeah.
other. You know? Thought it was just pragmatic.
We won't need to do that if it's going to DRE, so will we?
Yeah.
What do you cut?
If the youth fund was oversubscribed, it'll-
If Tyler
Sorry,
doesn't want
the other
to
one.
second it, do you want to second it?
I need to know how much is left in the DRF and
Yeah,
also,
so-
and when does that
Okay.
limit expire?
Okay.
Mm.
And do we have anything left to know?
You got it now,
well, I
Faye?
was going to take from the regularly.
Oh, I'll send it through Bailey, shall I?
Oh, that's right. We were too, weren't we?
Holland put it, they could do it like that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
But you have got it, what I've said.
Go ahead, do it.
And then funds to make a Panthers right down Horsell Park.
Yeah,
That's a great idea. I'm in support of that.
Red and
Marie?
black one.
Yeah.
Marie,
It's awesome,
may I
awesome
ask
religious
staff
teaching.
about what the balance is and when that expires of the DRF?
You're better than that.
Oh,
There's no DRE at the moment.
At the moment, because we still need to do the SCF.
I thought you were working on the transfer. into the DRF.
You wanna do more?
Not yet, no.
Hate me because you
It's
own
just
me.
the resolution.
it's not going anywhere soon.
Move it to
This
the
is very,
DRF.
very. Yeah, is that the one?
No, it's to you. When I sent you.
Oh, to
I'll
me.
refrain from anything controversial.
It's very simple.
Well, he's the one who's offended by pig farmers of Halsey.
I'm not offended by it.
Well, it sounds a lot like
Just a
that.
silly name, bro.
Oh,
Pig Road.
oh,
Come on.
Some people had to survive from those pig farms and on those
I've sent
pigs.
it to you, Bailey, now.
Here we go. They're all silly.
Farmers will
Could they
teach
not
you a
get
thing
more
or two.
creative?
Keep
I love Pika Drive.
Mate, even Palmu Road.
keep your show around Halsey.
We need a celebrity box.
It's immigrant.
Hey, if you want to fill Horsell with one, it's so big. Isn't it?
I might be so, if it wasn't immigrants.
You may have noticed that the farms become housing.
Yeah, so they call it Housing Road.
It's a road name. Just come.
No, I agree with Tyler.
Okay, well, Tyler
What are
was,
we changing it to, Tyler?
I know some other woke
Well-
Māori name.
Well, can I, if
The only one
I
who doesn't
move
like
it,
that.
and
Yeah, I know.
we can change it. I think it's
Just a
best to get it on the
reminder that
table.
we're
It's a
Good idea,
live.
good idea.
You want to have an agenda?
I'm taking the mickey out of
No,
people.
we'll just
calling
do it.
it-
I mean,
Hang on,
it's-
Ellen.
well, I've been a bit frustrated here, so I've tried to do my best to be
There is a
frustrated.
just things to it.
None of us.
Shall I read it out?
If you open up a word and then.
Yes, I'll read it out, what I've written.
Hang on, Helen, because we need to be on the same page, all right? You're
Can I ask a
ready?
question?
I think that, can I just table it? If I'm allowed to
Can we
table
please
it?
remove
Yes.
this?
Sorry?
Yes.
We haven't got it?
Standing orders.
Oh, try
You're
again.
ready
Can we
to
have a
read
German
that?
while they finish?
What she's going
Can
to
I read it out then?
I think
Can I
so.
just say, Helen,
Mm.
what
We moved
what the
it.
staff was
Agreement.
suggesting was that the board agreed perhaps to transfer the St. Peter's application to the,
Yes,
for
that's
consideration
fine.
under the.
No, I've moved.
Can we have it in German?
Yes.
Via, like,
Yeah.
No, no, hang on, because I'm technically correct. I can move a resolution, right? And I can move that we move the application to the discretionary response fund and that we grant St. Peter's Plays Centre $5,000.
So can I suggest? that
I
we
have
move
two
to-
parts to it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
do you
one
wanna
will
do
be.
that
That's what they were trying
We'll
to
do
do.
the first one, move it to DRE,
That's
and then
fine.
when we
Yes, sorry,
get the
people at home
DRE,
watching.
and we consider the.
discuss it later at the DRF.
We need to get like a meeting.
Right now, we're
It's done
doing
now.
SCF. We're not with DRF yet,
Oh,
but we
okay.
can move it to
Okay.
DRF and
Okay.
then we'll deal with it later.
okay.
Cool. So,
Juggle.
so the first part of the amended resolution is to move it to the DRF and then we'll deal with it later when we
Yes,
are at the
thank you.
DRF.
Yep.
Great idea.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Roger.
Does that need seconding or anything?
It will.
Or is it going through? a
Oh, I'm happy to
second?
second that.
Now,
Yeah,
So do you want to go through the, where is it?
To approve all the others, I presume.
So I'm thinking the board, nothing's moved, so
Nothing
if
is
there's,
yet.
the board members want to suggest any, any changes to the staff recommendation, I can put that on the spreadsheet so you can see what the total
What do the
looks like.
Chinese
And
join
then,
the club do?
we can move them.
So you got some visits tonight, Blue.
Thoughts on that?
Okay, interesting.
You can present it to the board.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so.
Is it in
you
front
put
of
my,
I'm guessing so.
screen,
On
please.
page 32, it's fine.
Sounds like a regular sort of.
It does, doesn't
So,
it?
on Zoom.
While they're looking for the
Sorry.
spreadsheet,
Just put the
Tyler,
Zoom up.
what did you want to say?
Are you ready?
The Zoom.
We're never ready.
Yeah.
They're bringing up the spreadsheet up on the
Yeah,
screen
okay.
and then we are
So if
good.
there are any changes to the staff recommendations,
Yep.
then we can put those so that the board can see what the total will be before anything is moved.
Yeah, and we'll move it
And
forward as a
then
package.
if we can move, if there's some that we need to separate out,
Okay,
then we can do that.
Yep.
But if we can first, there might
I
be
would Sinead
pieces,
feel
and then we can
now meeting.
move as many as we can as a
Tail hook.
block. We'll have to move out the one
Sinead,
that
if
is,
you want to.
declaration of interest.
and
I'm just checking the phone that it's.
why don't you move the strengthening community funding now?
That's what we're doing.
Well,
That's
that's
what
what
we
we're doing, but
Yeah.
we need to separate some.
Okay, so of
items.
the highlighted ones, so there's no questions on the others, so there's no changes. That might be an assumption. But if there are any changes.
Tyler,
Do I go through my amendments or just go one by one? How
are
do you
you
want?
going to call
Can we do it
out?
in this order?
We'll do it in this order, the ones that,
Sure. So Mark's up
we've
first.
got, so we've
Yeah.
got Hornby Presbyterian Community Trust. Is there any change, suggested amendment to the,
I'm going to discipline myself. I'd like to increase their funding, but I'll take advice from staff that they want further work they're doing, so I'll leave it with them.
Sure.
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
That's great.
thank you.
I'll
Next
start
is La Vida Youth Trust.
Yep, 2.5K increase. Meeting in with the 23-24 annual financial year. So
Up to
30,000.
30,000.
Up to 30,000?
Yes, please.
30,000.
I'll just wait for that. I've only got two.
Then the next one is
It's first. Okay.
Handmade Studio Charitable Trust. Any changes to that? No?
No.
Done. Next, Kids First Mackenzie Kindergarten.
Yeah, the
Tyler.
full amount, 100%. $144.
Oh, yeah. big spender.
Oh, man.
1,144.
Where's that 144 coming from?
Hey, it could be an extra screw, you know? Who knows?
GST.
What are you moving, Tyler? You're going to take the money out completely?
No,
The opposite.
It's added $144.
Making it 100%.
It's fine.
Korean painting.
That's what they applied for.
Korean painting group.
no. I was just
Good,
curious. I just wanted to know a little bit more.
Next is Springs Community Early Learning Center.
Yep, I want to increase that from 6,000 to 8,000.
What's the number for that?
It's on page 73, if that helps.
Still think we can find other ways to pay for that.
That's,
Oh,
but
Bruce,
that gets tangled up with the other one, doesn't it?
No,
Why is that?
they're not religious.
You sure?
Yeah,
Definitely not.
It's not a capital expenditure. It's for maintenance.
If it was, we'd give them it
So
anyway.
that's plus 2,000,
Oh, stop it.
8,000. Correct, Luke?
Sorry,
So from 6,000 plus 2,000 is 8,000.
that is correct. Thank you.
Thank you. Te Puna Waio Waipapa Hagley College.
That was just a question.
That was just a question, no changes.
So they're getting the full amount already.
And then
And
St.
then
Peter's, we will.
St. Peter's, we are
Did they apply for?
to
Yeah.
DRF. Right.
Okay,
So
Getting there.
I was gonna cut. but,
so
you
now
know,
that's the
Comes out of
board
university.
allocation and
Yeah, you didn't actually, did it?
I saw your email.
board allocation, that's this SEF. 390.
Sarah has her hand up.
Sarah, sorry, yes?
That's all right. You might, sorry, you might even be saying it now, but it's basically an increase of $4,000, I think, if you, judging by the bottom.
4,144.
There we go. That's cool. Yep, thank you.
Could have been a nice round of 4.
Right.
No.
Next.
DRF
They wanted
smaller.
to get it.
DRF gets smaller.
Oh, no, there's a 2.5 as well.
That was basically a DRF.
4,644, was it?
There you go. So
Yes, yeah.
St.
4.5 grand, mate.
Oh, I
The
guess
ones
make it.
that,
Plus, if we can cut 4.5.
Okay.
including.
suggest it, though.
St. Peter's.
Right,
DRF.
okay, so,
Check with Faith.
Yeah, yes, that's fine.
so if the board is happy to move it as a block, excluding the ones that have declared interest,
Which was.
which are Hornby Community Patrol,
Yeah.
Harry High, and
Hornby
Hornby
Presbyterian Church.
Hornby Presbyterian Church, and then St. Peter's to be moved to DRF.
Hmm.
We'll do that.
Yes, so if we can just bring the law report up again, does that say?
Yep.
We go.
Tyler, question?
we go-
Yeah, the impact on the DRF if all of this goes through.
Before it goes through?
It's 25.
Yes.
So it's 25, but then there is a rollover of. Let me pull up the report. So
We've
that's
got rollover?
Yes, we
Yeah.
had, we
Yeah.
have.
Oh, let's just increase funding everywhere then.
Yeah, 50 grand.
We got the money back from that consultant spend that didn't go ahead.
Oh, yeah.
What consultant?
The
Oh.
$20,000 we invested in consultants.
That's the
PC
first one.
PC14.
Oh, no, just had the word now.
What's the
Awesome.
consultancy for?
PC14.
For the
Oh,
IHP hearings,
right.
never used
Oh,
it.
we've got it back.
Well,
Never used
it was an illegal decision because it was a report and it just showed up at a board meeting one day and then we.
Okay, let's not,
Relitigate it now.
Well, you
He
asked-
was
you
just
asked-
answering
you
my
asked about the
question.
We're on a roll, we're on a
You asked about-
roll.
you asked about the rollover.
So we would be
We've got 10,000.
transferring 58,543 into the discretionary response fund, but
Then you've
then
got
the
board
next
projects.
report is the board project. So then if you look into that report, currently the board projects would be is $30,000, which would leave your DRF, if we're just looking at the sum of money, at 30,187. However, we have a carry forward of 50,000, so you would be looking at about
80 grand.
$80,000.
Bloody brilliant.
So when
Nice
does
job,
that,
Scott.
when does that figure,
That's okay.
when is the end of that term of the finances of the DRF?
30th of June.
30th
Oh,
of June.
Yeah, so currently there's no DRF
Okay.
because we haven't
Okay.
established it for this
Yep.
year.
Great,
Yep, thank
that's
you.
really good.
Rolled over.
Okay,
80 grand to tourist a year.
Yeah, that's great.
It's not.
so do we do the St. Peter's St. Mary last?
You get 3 or 4
Last,
communications after it's gone.
But they've
Faye
also
is
got
bringing up,
the other funding costs that they've taken out from too.
That's the entire rest of the year for applications that come to us.
So
for really good
what
reasons.
we're recommending, rather than we
Might go
had
far.
previously that we decline. Sorry. Previously we had that we declined their application. Now we're proposing to agree that their application be transferred for consideration for a grant from the 2025-26 Waipuna Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton discretionary response fund.
Yes, that's right.
Yes, we can't do it now because we haven't actually set that fund up.
Yep.
And then we'll go on the next one is approves the transfer as Becky said of the
Okay,
changed amount.
so you said we could do it at the same meeting, so then once you've done
Later.
this.
We'll go on
Later.
later, we'll go on to
At the end of
next one.
this,
In
Helen.
30 minutes. Or
Yeah,
40 minutes.
yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
10 minutes.
You're happy with that? Instead of-
I'm happy to move this, by the way.
Has to be
Given
done
that they're
separately
out,
from
yeah,
the
yeah.
conflicts.
We are
I have no
moving,
conflicts.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
look,
true.
we, do.
Nothing's been moved yet.
Okay.
Some of us. have.
Yes,
so what we're
taking it all
moving
noting the
is
conflict.
all of these except for that.
Yep.
Hornby,
Hornby Community Patrol,
Patrol.
High Broomfield Community Trust, Community Development Trust, and
And the Hornby
Hornby
Presbyterian.
Presbyterian Community Trust.
No,
No?
no, it's
Wrong
the
one.
It's the church.
The church.
Templeton Tots.
Oh,
You can click on the
which
And the one
one?
that Sarah mentioned as well.
Hornby Community Care Trust Board.
Hornby Community Care Trust.
I'm conflicted on holding on your leg cup. I feed them every week.
You get wasted for them.
Why is much marketing nice today?
Oh, mate,
We're driving from Avonhead all the way to.
it's so good.
What was your one?
Welcome to the castle,
That
mate.
one was,
Be the market on the account.
Presbyterian.
number 52 on this list here.
I was impressed.
Templeton Tots Playwood.
Hornby Presbyterian Community.
Hornby
Oh, Templeton Top.
Yep.
Templeton Tots.
It's not that I've got any tots or anything, but
Hope Presbyterian
just my church.
Community Church.
So accepting those 4 applications then. Pretty clear what we're.
Just
Yeah.
not
So I need a mover for everything except the 4 groups that are being separated with declarations of interest and signatures. By
Oh, second.
Kyla originally moved, and then I have Luke.
in Sarah. Yeah.
So moved by Tyler, seconded by Luke.
Nice, Sarah.
Next year, Mark.
Great work.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carry. Now we are going to move
Each of those.
Separately.
one by one.
Yes, yes. we will.
So I will get Helen to ask about the Hornby Community Patrol because I have a declaration of interest.
oh, so you'd like me, can you put that on the board?
Taking the ones out, the conflict of interest ones out, and voting on this one. by one.
Okay,
So
And you and
thank
I, Marie.
Not
that
makes a
conflict.
grant of 2,500.
I'll move it.
Um,
Oh, can we let Sarah pick it?
Who's moving it? Mark and seconded
Sarah.
Luke.
Sarah.
Yep, but Sarah is not in the meeting at the moment, needs to be let back in.
Oh, yeah.
So Sarah can't take part?
I am.
Oh, what?
Oh, you are taking part.
I'm just,
So,
yeah,
Oh,
so
okay.
any discussion?
No.
All those in favour say aye.
I,
Against? Carry, thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Next one.
Hagley Broomfield.
Hagley.
Hi.
Hi, Broomfield. I need a move by Mark, seconded by Debbie. Any debate?
Oh, very great work.
No. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Next, the Hornby Community Care Trust.
Happy to move.
Moved by Mark, seconded by Luke. No debate?
Nope.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Presbyterian Community.
Hope Presbyterian Community Church Templeton Tots Play Group. Moved by Tyler, seconded by Hank.
just.
Any debate?
No.
No? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Anything else? St. Peter's.
So, yeah.
No, we already passed the St. Peter's.
No, we did not.
She separated it. She separated
I
it out of
separated
the
it.
group.
Separated it.
I separated it from the group.
So
Yep.
are we moving to,
We are now
St. Peter's?
moving to,
The St. Peter's
I need a
resolution.
mover for St. Peter's to be moved to the DRF.
oh, no, okay, I'll move it.
So moved by
Yeah.
Helen,
Hank, yeah.
seconded by Hank. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Now we've got to do the transfer of funds to
Yeah.
the DRE. And what was the new figure? We have the new.
Doesn't take any business days or
30 something,
50 something.
58.
58,543.
Do we put a figure in for the DRS for St. Peter's?
58 comma.
How did that change?
Your increase.
Because
You
of
spent
the
it.
increases,
The discretionary.
because the increase.
I thought it was already noted in.
when you spend money, it disappears.
Which is fine.
$4,144.
Easy
So now we need to approve this.
Oh,
No, I
okay,
thought we went through, I thought it was gonna be
so,
like $20,000 each, remember?
I,
That's
Move on.
pretty reasonable.
You can move
for all
it.
that.
I'll move
I'll
to
second.
approve the transfer of $58,543 from the 2025-26 Strengthening Communities Fund to the 25-26 Waipuna Halswell-Hornby-Riccarton Discretionary Response Fund. I need a second.
Hello.
Hey.
Luke,
Well done.
seconded.
Are you moving it?
I moved it.
Yeah.
Yes. I moved it, seconded by Luke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried.
Now,
Thank you.
We're moving.
We could get there by 4:30.
Close to 40.
Good.
Yes.
Don't we approve
I should
the
vote
amount
against it.
for St. Peter's?
Not yet, no.
Coming out of
another
the
DRE.
Now we're going to the DRF portion of the meeting, and we have 15 minutes left. So we will hand over to staff again, please. DRF.
Thank you for putting up with us.
Okay, this report is basically to set up the discretionary response fund and then to approve the allocation of the board projects. You board members may recall that was workshopped. You did a workshop with those different projects. And also now with the application, the St. Peter's application as well to go in there as well. At the same time as doing those projects, there are some criteria there as part of the resolutions. So that criteria is there for the Youth Development Fund, for the decision making. It's for the summer with your neighbours decision making and enabling that to be a longer fund from November, I think it is, through till the end of March, for the off the ground fund and that decision making capability as well. So those processes are part of the resolutions there.
So,
In the St. Peter's one, I've included as 20 year.
Number 20.
I've got 2,000 here.
I'm wanting it, I'm moving 5,000.
5,000.
Thank you.
So we move on to questions on the DRF. I've got Tyler.
Kia ora. I've got a bit of a question that you may or may not be able to answer. One of them is in regards to the engaging with the community part. I know we do the what do you think campaigns, things like that alongside for the annual plan or priorities, things like that. But what happens when we have quite a lot of CSRs come through when it comes to the board at a localized level? How does that engagement work with the community then?
CSRs at a board level.
So you know how it goes from the OCE and then they'll pass it down to the board to deal with? So like a local street, for example, might have an issue with tar, seal or chip, right? It goes to the board level to be sorted out and navigated, is that right?
No,
So then,
not customer service requests, we don't. deal with those.
So
So
we,
a board or, you know, council information request that you work with Faye or I on, that's different to a customer service request. But
Oh, okay.
none of the governance team don't manage customer service requests.
That'll go to the unit who does the chip seal.
okay,
Get transport.
yeah, no, that's fine.
That's me answering anything.
No.
Not helpful.
What I'm wanting to try and pin down here is you probably don't have capacity for it, but I'm more thinking along the lines of public trust and engagement. And you guys are specialists in this field, particularly with customers or residents, ratepayers, who have significant issues with certain areas. Would staff be allowed to do that and engage with public around certain issues?
Staff come to council, come to community board, and the community board then go through governance manager. We would work out the most appropriate way of supporting that person. So because some units, like for example, say the parks unit, that might be more appropriate that that person is supported by Millie. But we certainly are always happy to, you know, help and advocate and point people to be able to navigate the wonderful council system we have.
And we already do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at the deputation part of things. You've got probably 200 deputations in a year, less than that, sorry, about 100 deputations in a year, give or take, right, of major issues. They don't know how to navigate council. We'll send them an email saying, hey, you've got to go to community board. Right.
We
So,
already
yeah,
do that.
It's a board project, and you've set aside this funding, so the team use it for, you know, projects or events, those engagement opportunities.
It's broad enough
as
to
they
actually
arise.
add that scope within it.
If there is something that the board thinks that they would like to see happen within that, then we can have a discussion about that. Yeah. So if it is around supporting communities to engage with council, I guess more generally, if there's targeted communities that you think don't know how to navigate our systems and we wanted to go out to them, then that's a conversation.
That's exactly what I'm trying to get at, yeah. So maybe after October, we can try and navigate or brainstorm the best way to engage with our community when it actually falls apart.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's fine.
Any other questions? Right? Okay, so no more questions. We move on to,
Where are you going?
do we move them as a
Block.
Yes, as a block. So this is the staff recommendations up until the new, we've now added number 20 as a result of the last one. And that is approves a grant of, and so Helen's changed that from 5,000.
No, I haven't. I've kept it at 5,000, but if someone wants to move an amendment, that's fine. Do you want to second that, Mark?
How much did they ask for?
12,000.
12,000.
So it's less than
Question from Tyler?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I could foreshadow 2.5 for that.
You can add
Foreshadow 2.5 for this.
instead of 5,000, 2.5.
Well, so
Can we put 20 separately?
Should we do 20 separately?
We will do number 20 separately.
Okay,
Okay.
then.
So I need a mover for numbers 1 to 19. I've got Mark and seconder Luke. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. That's 1 to 19.
So Helen is moving a grant of 5,000 to St. Peter's. She doesn't have a second yet.
I had Tyler, but he's changed it.
So she has a second.
No, I've got one there.
Yeah,
No.
that's fine. So if you want to move an amendment to that, we do the amendment first.
Okay.
Tyler, so.
Could we go into debate?
We have debate after the
We'll
amendment.
need to move,
Well,
need a
before.
mover and a seconder first.
I think.
So moved by Helen, seconded by Mark.
That one.
Yeah.
But Tyler's going to move an
amendment.
first.
Oh, yeah, you've made it.
Foreshadowed.
No, yeah, it's an amendment.
It's an amendment.
So, yeah, because Helen's made that the substantive motion.
Yes, this is Helen's substantive motion.
Yeah.
Tyler's moving an amendment to that.
2.5.
Of 2.5, okay.
Seconder for 2.5.
Yeah.
Is Sarah still online?
No.
No,
No, she's
she's on her way here.
Oh,
I think she tried to transfer herself
So
to
we
a
need a
phone.
second.
So we need a seconder for Tyler's 2.5.
Going.
Any seconder? Luke. You?
Well, so now that what we're considering is 2.5, grant of 2.5,
Okay.
and that powers if we go back.
Now, do I speak now or
Wait, hang on.
who speaks
Helen,
now?
Just wait. We
Well, I'm
will-
just trying to check.
Yes,
Yes.
wait first. I will ask people to speak in order.
But
So
what's
we
the
have-
order, Marie? Is
Just
you mean-
wait,
No,
please.
I'm checking.
Just, no, you don't need to check. I will tell you.
But,
I
okay.
will say it.
Right.
Look,
Tyler, please.
As the mover, I'll go first. I'm moving to approve a grant of $2,500 from the discretionary response fund, because we know how much the discretionary response fund gets eaten into with very, very, very important things, particularly capital projects in Halswell, Hornby and Riccarton. Also noting that it's a bit more room for us to do it. So I'm not going as far as $5,000 for something that is actually, in my view, is deemed as a nice to have for an enhancement project in comparison to the must-haves like springs that actually need essential maintenance, or the kindergarten on Rattray Street, which actually needs a new slide because it's dangerous. This here is to enhance an area of which I've met in the middle, tried to meet in the middle, and go for $2,500 because I want to recognise St. Peter's awesome work in the community, particularly for our multicultural communities. I've been there a few times now. It's heavily diverse, and it's also in a high deprivation area. Upper Riccarton is one of the most deprived areas in the city. Therefore, the work that they do, whether it is faith-based or not, and I'm a man of faith myself, is really important. So regardless on whether it's 5 or 2.5 or none, it still doesn't go away from the fact that the work that they do is really important. So therefore, I'm moving 2.5. I'm happy to have some people's support. I'm all good if someone wants to go with 5, but 2.5 is where I want to land because it's fairer for the community, particularly with something that is a nice to have as defined in the ERO report and the staff report.
Thank you, Tyler. Can I have somebody who is supporting the 2.5 to speak first?
Yeah.
Go.
I guess the main reason why I supported that is I'm not confident in the original application under the strengthening communities, and now we're in DRF. I guess there are concerns with how much available equity the charity has. And if this was something that they needed to have, then perhaps stepping into their contribution from other funders, whether that's churchgoers or other charities that they reach. I don't think what they originally asked for was a huge amount if they've got $500,000 sitting in their bank account. And I know that they need to have a certain amount to be able to keep ticking over each day of the week. They need to have tagged funds for a set period of time, but I'm not confident in if we are the right organisation to be funding a nice to have, not a need to have. When, as Tyler pointed out, there are other organisations that are struggling and haven't come to us for funding. Rattray is not on here.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, the kids first.
Oh, okay. Right, that was why I didn't recognise it. They'll come to us and they're getting $1,144.
They had a lot last time.
Yeah, I can understand the pros and cons of everything. It's just I'm not super confident in giving an organisation that's backed by a lot of money extra funds when there are organisations here that struggle day to day with fundraising. And I know how hard it is in the not-for-profit sector as well.
Thank you, Luke. Anybody else in support of?
Oh, I want.
In support of the 2,500? Okay. Against?
Yes, if I could speak.
Helen.
The 5,000 that the earlier one
Helen,
was, yes.
just stick to the 2.5.
Okay.
We'll discuss
Well,
the 5,000 later.
I guess either figure is taken out of people's perceptions. I've been 4 times to this childcare centre. It's largely immigrant families and they don't look overly affluent. They used to teach Chinese, which I thought was a real plus, but I understand that's been stopped. Secondly, they get less funding than Rattray Street does because it's a private preschool rather than a state preschool. But we have given money to Rattray and we have given money, 30,000, to St. Peter's Church that is directly teaching Christianity. I believe because of the age group, I don't think that anything that is taught will have an impact on that child. They're 3 to 5. It won't have an impact if they go to a state school and the parents don't give them any further instruction. It will just be seen as, in fact, preschool. I see my kindergarten when I went there, it's very much just playing around. So the 5,000 and the 2,500 are out of the air, putting up your finger. I actually picked up 5,000 because one of our board members mentioned 6,000. So I brought it down to 5 as a sort of compromise. So I will vote against the 2,500. I'm happy perhaps to move an amendment to 4,000. But the 2,500 is too low. We put up Springfield, which is a creche, similar situation, and I just think the Christian teaching, I hadn't actually noticed it particularly. So when I've been in it, must be that I'm used to Christian images. So I hadn't been aware of this, and I think they've got an organisation up in Auckland, which is Christian based, obviously. How much funding they get from them is like any organisation. You can have a school applying for things and they don't get it for whatever reason. So I'm very supportive of going to at least 4,000, but I prefer 5. Thank you.
Thank you, Helen. Mark?
People mention the fact that the parent organisation has potentially a profit of $500,000 for a charitable trust that sits in Auckland. My question would be how much of that money from that charitable trust in Auckland is appropriated from Auckland sources and therefore is not able to be spent in a Christchurch situation? Because that's got to be something that they've got to think about. You may not be able to spend that $500,000 in Christchurch, so therefore it's almost a smokescreen in an erroneous argument. I kind of feel that 2,500 is a little bit of a slap in the face. It's a compliment to get anything. But when you're asking for 12,000 to get 2,500, it's like, proper change being found rather than anything serious to try and get this project to actually get off the ground and get it done. But I'm happy to support this organisation, and I feel it's a slippery slope for us to start exploring when we're saying that we're going to exclude people because they've got a Christian image or a Christian something mentioned in their premise, because any number of organisations that we've gone through in SCF today have got Christian elements that you could easily go into their premise and go, oh look, there's Christian, therefore we can discount this whole organisation because there's Christianity in that building. I'm sorry, but it's a very slippery slope, and it's something that at council we may need to look at revising these policy criteria, because I think we're creating a huge problem for ourselves if we head down this route of discounting people on their faith. It could be a Muslim faith, it could be a Catholic, it could be Christianity, it could be any number of faiths, and we've got to start making judgment call on each and every one of them. Oh, there's some sort of Christian spiritual element there, so that is now discounting this application. I think it's a very slippery slope for us to start entangling ourselves into. So I'm happy to support this at whatever we land at.
Thank you, Mark. I'd like to say something. I am also a person of faith, but I agree with the concerns of Luke and Tyler. But in my case, I would defer to the advice of staff, and I will opt for a
Since mobile
decline.
data is turned off, you'll
Sorry.
have to connect to a Wi-Fi
Sorry.
network first.
They're having problems. Sorry, I'll turn it off.
So in my case, whether it's 2.5 or 5, I will opt for a decline. Debbie.
Thank you. I think the staff, ultimately, there's been a compilation, a huge amount of information for us to take on board here. What I've been out there a couple of times as well with Helen, and I've also asked teachers about what they install, and they don't directly try and convert anybody. In fact, the head teacher who was here today in the gallery, she's emphasised that a few years ago she was actually working at the Muslim Childcare Centre, and she's an embracer of all faiths. Just going along with Helen and Mark as well, I will support the 5 and not the 2.5 because of the, not only that, but they assist other families with paying for their fees as well. I know that's not part of the application, but they do an incredible amount of work for the families, including $2 van fares for picking up and delivering of children to the childcare centres. And it's still $2 if it's more than one child. So on that basis, I don't support the 2.5, but 5, or even could come in between the 2.5 and 5. I'm happy to sit with.
Thank you, Debbie. Just before I go on, Tyler has the only one with the right of reply, but because I was distracted by Helen's phone earlier, I just wanted to point out that I'm opting to decline because I think this is going to be a can of worms that will be opened up. So
what are you declining? Sorry,
both.
She finished her. She didn't finish her debate.
Oh,
right. Okay. Now I move on to the right of reply from Tyler.
Yeah. For those that are going to potentially decline this, just also note that the reason why I said 2.5 was it was for the extension of their bike track. So yeah, Mark and I have a bit of an indifference in terms of agreeing upon the slap in the face statement, because I'm looking to give them an upgraded bike track, and I think they'd be absolutely chuffed with the bike track, even though they can't get any alterations to their bark areas or a shade sail. A new bike track for young kids seems pretty good, and I'm doing it not on the basis of faith, but I'm doing it on the basis of the beautiful multicultural community that's there. Decide with it how you will, whether you want to gift them a bike track or not. It's completely up to you guys. Kia ora.
Okay, with the motion, we're voting on the amendment.
On the 2,500. Right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Against?
No.
Carried.
No,
Carried. Sorry.
So the amendment is
Almost
lost.
carried.
So now we go back to the
The
original.
original. We go to the original, to the
Thank you.
5,000. So is there any? We don't need any more. Yes.
No, we don't
So we
need-
don't need any more debate on the
No.
5,000?
I do one thing that I want to add that I didn't add before. Is that okay? My reason for, I don't particularly care about the religious aspect of it. That's not in my decision making. We're mostly a religious nation, I would say. For me, it's the multiculturalism that I supported the 2.5. My decision is not around the religion side of things.
I thought it was
Because you're the original mover, I'll give you the
Thank
right
you.
of
Right reply.
reply. Oh, hang on,
There is no
because I
reply.
think
She
there
wasn't
is,
opened.
Oh, well, we can open it up if you want, but I can start this, but the 5, if you want me to. But yes, look,
Conscious of the time because we
we're kind of doing
already
it.
past
I
4
know.
o'clock.
We're kind of doing it. Look, I think it's really important to give this organisation funding. They've started up this childcare about 2001. It's targeted largely immigrant families who often struggle to find a place. And as I've heard from Deb today, they go and pick the children up in fact, a van. I have not seen the families being overly affluent. Again, that's just an impression. And they will get less funding than a government kindergarten or early childcare centre gets. And again, I stress again, if it was children or young teenagers of 14 and 15, I would have different advice, I think. But because they're preschoolers, I said to someone, it's like the Grimm's fairy tales. You've got Christian stories, you've got Grimm's fairy tales, which is the evil of the world, I guess, from Grimm's perspective. The Bible stories are happier. But look, I just think the children are there to make friends, have fun, and I haven't seen anything particularly concerning about it. I wasn't actually totally aware it was it had a Christian orientation. I knew it was linked to St. Peter's, but the Christianity didn't strike me as strong when I've been there. And I've come through the Christian faith as a youngster. I'd ask you to support 5,000.
Thank you, Helen. I'm just conscious of time. Do we still have anybody? I have Tyler and then Andre, and then I will put it motion.
Yeah. The reason why I wanted to just talk is to say that I will be declining this grant. And I just wanted to write a few things, by the way. In the kindergarten, from a faith-based perspective, that is not even arguable because it is everywhere in the kindergarten. However, that is irrespective of the DRF because the DRF, as we're seeing here, we see a grant of $5,000. When we gave other kindergartens or early play centres money, it was essentially for must-haves. And again, I'm going to reiterate, this here is something of a nice-to-have, and it doesn't stop St. Peter's from actually applying in the future for something a bit more pragmatic and forward-thinking in terms of the way that they're applying for it. So I'm going to be declining this today, and I just wanted to reiterate that with the board, that this is not based on anything else other than the size of the fund.
Thank you, Tyler. Luke. Oh, no, Andre. Sorry.
Thanks.
And then Debbie.
Thanks. Yeah, I agree. They're a brilliant organisation. Our board made a decision a year ago not to provide any funding towards an improved play adventure space not behind Nightstream School. That's one that would have been able to be accessed by the entire community. That's a heavily multicultural community. But when we were making that decision last year, all that mattered was our policy. But the multiculturalism didn't matter then, the policy did. Whereas today, the multiculturalism matters, but the policy doesn't. So just in the interest of consistent decision-making, I can't support this, but agree they're a brilliant organisation and disappointed not to be doing so.
Thank you, Andre. Debbie.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but that situation, Andre, was because the playground was being open to the public and therefore it opened it up to a lot of health and safety issues. So am I allowed to ask Tyler a question from what?
No.
Okay,
no.
that's fine.
This is debate.
I'm done.
All right, thank you. So I will put this to motion. All those in favor of 5,000 grant to approve the 5,000, say aye.
Aye.
Against?
No.
Can I show of hands?
For the division.
For what?
For a division?
Yes.
Show of hands is fine.
It's just
Division.
three of us
She's
against,
called
it's
it
just the three of us voting
Helen's
against it.
asked for division.
Yeah.
It's called a division.
I called it a division.
So for the 5,000,
They get nothing.
Well, can we come to a compromise
Wait.
between 2.5?
I asked that, Helen said no.
we're moving
I asked
5,000.
for a compromise, Helen said no.
Do you want four? I could go to 4,000.
Passed. I thought you were happy where it was going to land with
Yes.
the 2.5.
Passed away.
2.5 is
Yeah, I'm happy to come
You call.
to a
So can we
compromise.
ask
Yeah.
those who voted against, do they want their votes against? them?
Yep,
Yes.
no, thanks.
So that was Andre and Tyler.
Tyler, Luke and Marie.
Can we not?
Wait, did it actually fail because Sarah's not here?
Oh,
It's fine.
it's 4 against 4, so it's
I'm confused about the process because if we knew that that was going to be the outcome, I could easily have supported what Councillor Tyler Harrison-Hunt put forward to us.
it was in that order that we.
So are we now not allowed to?
No, we can't.
So can I, is it passed or not?
It's lost. It's tied. It's tied, so it's lost.
I'm calling a division then. If it's lost, yeah.
To record the votes.
Yes.
Okay.
So if Sarah comes in, is she allowed to vote?
No, she's not.
Not in the meeting.
She's not part of the
No.
meeting.
Okay, we need to pass over to Faye now.
So we'll just go around the table and record the votes. So it's
Yes.
Broughton is yes.
Oh, I don't know.
Yes.
Tyler Harrison, no.
Yeah.
Luke
Good.
Chandler,
I didn't realise that.
Andre.
Andre Moore, no.
Debbie.
Debbie,
Yes.
Yes or no? Yes or
To the
no?
5,000? Yes.
Yes,
I was adamant to it.
and Mark Peters?
Yes.
So that's 4-4.
Yep.
So it hasn't passed.
Can we suspend
Right,
standing
so,
orders?
so that is,
That doesn't
that
change the
is
vote.
it. We have voted on it. The motion has lost. It is tied and it's lost
Tied.
now. So the meeting is finished. We'll go to Karakia, please.
We don't need to cut it. We're gonna move into.
Oh, we still breaking in 15
Yeah,
minutes.
that's okay.
Oh, okay, so
won't
we'll
open.
do the closing at
Yeah.
Okay.
next meeting. Closing Karakia next meeting.
It's unfortunate that that
So
wasn't.
we are just closing this meeting and we are